Okay, we'll just wait a few minutes to get our bearings and we'll get started in regards to the webinar today, which we're going to be talking about an actual system, a course. Not a course in the way that you're going to be having to take lessons and there's going to be an exam at the end of it, but more of a system that's going to be empowering you to do healing for yourself, for your family, and perhaps for people if you're a healer in regards to your clients, having another um, a tool in your tool belt, so to speak, in regards to your healing aspects and your healing abilities. And we've called it the broadcasting system because this particular tool that we're going to use with the system is a broadcaster. Okay, and also a big part of our power here is our intent. Okay, our intent and where we also place our attention. Okay, so even though this is a broadcasting system, we're going to use intent and intention notes with this system, but we're also going to use visualization too to direct an energy in a certain part of the body, which I guess we could say is using the other part of your power, which is your place of attention. So you're coupling those two together. Okay, now the tool that comes with the system is called the Sun Ring. Okay, and I've got one here. Okay, and the Sun Ring comes in a 4-inch and a 9-inch variety, but we want people to start off with the 4-inch. A number of reasons. It's compatible for one, so it's easier to cart around with you, and also it's we kind of call this a personalized size. So if you're using this healing system at home, then it's a personal one for home. There is a 9-inch variety, which is more of a practitioner size. And plus, obviously, the cost goes up as well if we go into the 9-inch. So that's why we've kind of want to keep the cost down as much as possible so people can afford the system, okay? Because it's got incredible healing abilities. And this particular tool, the Sun Ring, was made by a guy called Wayne Gatos from Crystalline Incorporated. And he's in Canada. And he always says that how wonderful this tool is. It's just got limitless capabilities of what you can do with it. And I am one of those people that sells this product and sells his product along with other products that I also make. And I often get questions from people, what can I do with this? So this doesn't seem to be much of a instruction booklet with this particular device. And the thing about these tools is they're consciousness tools, so that you're going to find ways of using this tool that are a little bit different to me or someone else, and that's the beauty about them. That's why they're limitless, in their capabilities. But I wanted to create a system or create a booklet or a dowsing chart system that enabled you to really use this to its full potential. Hence we have the broadcasting system. Now, this is the main tool that we use for the system, but that doesn't mean you can't use some of the other tools that I either distribute or make with this system as well. When we look at tensor rings, you can place intention notes within those too. And anything within the tensor technology, you can do that too. Okay. Any of the suggestions I put forth, I always get an okay, all clear from my higher aspects of my consciousness, my high aspects of my wisdom. They are looking at from multi-dimensional perspective of reality. So I really welcome their input, right? Well, me as the human here, well, I'm taking one step ahead of the other like anybody else in regards to connected to time. So I really value the output, and he gives me the all clear or the thumbs down of what I should proceed with. And the tool that my high aspects of self recommended was this particular one as the primary tool for the system. And it's a broadcaster in itself. It's a charger of energy. Okay, so that's the tool that you get with the system. Okay, a 4-inch sun ring. Now this is a platinum one. You'll get a gold one. They're all gold now. This is an older type of sun ring. Now, actually, before we go on, the sun ring. Okay, so obviously we call it the sun ring for obvious reasons. Okay, and like rays of the sun. Now, let's just look at the sun in this reality. Okay, let's look at it at a cosmic point of view on this 3D plane. Okay, is that we're on a planet called Earth and it's surrounding a star, and we call that star the sun. Okay, it's essentially the light bringer when you think about it, right? The bringer of life too. Okay, when we look at the makeup of what a star is, and it's mainly hydrogen. Okay, and we use this intent hydrogen a lot within my healings. Now, hydrogen, when you break those two words down, the word down, hydro's water, genesis of water. We know the genesis of everything here exists because it's connected to a consciousness. So hence hydrogen is the consciousness of water. Okay? We use that as a very healing intent because it's got regenerative properties, it's got levitating properties. It's what makes water levitate from a spring that is so many hundreds or thousands of meters underground to come to the surface, bypassing the laws of gravity. Now, the laws of gravity say that if anything resists or goes against gravity, there'll be friction and therefore there'll be heat, but spring water comes out cold, ice cold. Okay, so there's something special about it, and that's the hydrogen. Okay, now, what does water teach us here? Flow. Okay, flow. If you look at water in its natural environment, and if it's flowing naturally, you'll notice that the water's just not flowing like that. It's vortexing. Okay, and vortex is the geometry of flow. Everything, okay, including this tool, creates a vortex within itself. I can't tell you whether it's anti-clockwise or clockwise off the top of my head. And people will be well aware that quite often we sell these rings with a neutralization ring. Excuse me. And with the prongs going out here, neutralization ring, the prongs going inwards, and really the difference between the two is one goes anti-clockwise and one goes clockwise in regards to its spin, okay, vortex. So when water's, so it teaches flow, because water, it cleans itself and it stays clean, detoxifies itself, right, when it's flowing. The faster the flow, and therefore less obstruction along the way, it remains clean. Okay? But when we look at water that is stationary or stasis, that doesn't have flow anymore, it gets dirty, smelly, and it gets really bad. So we can take those lessons and those principles to us as well. Not only the flow of the cardiovascular system or the digestive system or the bile salts in regards to the gallbladder, the urinary system, you think about it, you name it. But also, are you living in the flow of life? Or is your mind getting in the way and blocking you every time you're trying to get somewhere? So you can see where this is going, right? So hydrogen's important. Stars on the 3D in the science is made out of hydrogen, mainly hydrogen, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, the thing about the sun, it's our light bringer. It's our biggest light bulb there is, right? So when we're talking about consciousness work and we want to connect more into our higher aspects of ourselves, we want more of our light. So you see the comparisons there. Now, the sun, okay, it's the light giver, okay? Now, me as a quantum healer, we go past this 3D plane of just thinking that Earth is a rock that goes around a star. Okay, and when we go to the quantum lengths, we learn a little bit more about what's going on. Okay, and we actually have an entry point of a gateway that sits in the sacred heart space that guides us and connects us to the quantum level of us, where we can connect with our higher aspects of our consciousness, which then connect into other realms and dimensions, hence why we call ourselves our multidimensional self. Now, if that's a pathway there, going inwards, not going outwards, but going inwards, that entry point is kind of our star here. Okay, that's our light. That's where we can bring our own light through here, through the space. If we reside in this heart space, we get in, and what blocks that flow is when we get in the mind too much. Okay, so we call this the sacred heart, and that is very much in line with the symbolism of what we see in the sky in this reality, which is called the sun. Okay, so you can see by the effects of why we use this tool. Okay, now each entry point of each realm reality where a version of ourselves exists, that is the sun, okay, for their realm or their reality. Okay, and I know I'm probably going a little bit in depth with this, but I want you to understand and explain the symbolism of the sun, because the sun's very important, and hence this tool can do. That's why the tool can do a number of things. Now, some of the information I'm bringing forth to you is from Wayne, who created this tool, but also information that's coming from me, what I had learnt about the tool. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, this is what I've found with the tool. Okay. Now let's get into the system a bit. We know that we're going to use this tool. Okay, and I've seen videos of people using the tool, including Wayne himself, the creator of this tool. And what blew me away was he'd put little intention notes within the ring, and then it would have effect on that person that was either putting their finger in the ring or broadcasting that energy of whatever intent you placed in the ring out into the room, and that feel an effect. Just blew my mind, or blew my awareness, I should say. I'm trying to get out of not using the word mind. And like you'd write the word lemon on a piece of paper, okay, and people would put their fingers in the ring, and then they could taste the lemon in their mouth, even though there was no physical lemon. How can that be? That's because every physical thing here, as I said, is connected to a consciousness. Quantum physics are trying to understand how the universe got created, the Big Bang, right? So this is the pioneer of science, is quantum physics, okay? And really what quantum physics is doing is bring science and spirituality and bring it together, or consciousness and science together. Now, one thing about religion is that religion started as consciousness, and then it got transformed all into these different religions, which then we got back into duality, where everybody's saying this religion's better and this religion, and this whole thing, like different countries, different languages, all these sorts of things. But it originated with consciousness, okay, before it kind of got divided into what we call religion. Okay, so some people might say it's religion and science coming together, but really it's consciousness, spirituality, and science coming together. And what they found is they go to the atomic level, go even deeper, and they use terminology to call what they were seeing, or particles even smaller than particles. I think quarks or something like that they call them. And then they got to a point where there was nothing physical. It was just a vibration frequency happening, which was what they call the field. Albert Einstein always said that this, many years ago, before where quantum physics has gone now, he said the sole influence on the particle, which he's mentioning the particle's the physical, is the field. Okay, so what he's saying is the unseen, the field, is then influencing the physical. Okay? Now, within the field is consciousness. Not just one consciousness, but a bunch of them. Okay? It's like when we think, oh, your heart's beating without you having to tell it to do it or think about it. Or parts of your body and cells are working, just doing what they need to do. Or maybe not doing what they're supposed to do. Autoimmune condition. So what's instructing that? The field, consciousness. You just need to make sure it's your consciousness that's controlling it, not something else that's trying to create a malfunction in your body, which you then give off an energy that they feed off that energy, a suffering, fearful energy. So you can see where we're going here with the Sun Ring tool and working at the quantum level. So when we write an intention note about lemon, that is the vibration frequency of a lemon, which then manifests into the things that you would normally have with a lemon, that acidic taste. Now, when we do the intention note of a lemon, it'll be it's subtle, but it's there. Okay, it's very much the same if you put vitamin C on a piece of paper, put it in the ring, put a glass of water over it, that broadcasts the vitamin C, the vibration frequency of it, into your drink. Then you douse to see, is there vitamin C in the water? Yes, there is. And you drink that, then you're taking the vibration and frequency of vitamin C in. Now, one thing I must say about vitamins and minerals before we get into the system, okay, especially minerals or elements we can call it, is that there is a bunch of them, right? They call it a spectrum, you take a multivitamin of a spectrum of elements or minerals, right? You know, calcium, magnesium, silica, all these things, all the trace minerals and so on. Okay? Now, that sounds like a spectrum of vibration and frequency too, doesn't it? Okay? And when we connect more to our higher power, which is connecting to our multi-dimensional aspects of self, which is a greater spectrum that these duality eyes cannot see because it's in such a small spectrum or broadband of spectrum. Outside of that, we bring more light in, and when we connect more with our light and a multidimensional aspect of self, we get more of the vibration and frequency that are aligned and connected with all these multi-spectrum minerals that we see in this reality. Okay? So, why is magnesium different to calcium? Because one's got a different frequency to it. Okay? So you can see what I mean by this. Okay, so when you eat food, the digestive system's a big tube, U-tube, okay? You throw the food down the tube, and food comes out the end. So you don't hold on to food. Food doesn't go in the body. When food goes in the body, when you've got a rupture or a hole, a leaky gut, then you're in big trouble. The body starts attacking. It sees something's foreign in there, and all of a sudden you can die from it. You can get sepsis. So food's not supposed to be in the body. Okay? You throw it down the tube, and then we come back to a 3D level of science, right? As I say, it's many dimensional layers where there's different laws and different ways that things work. Throw it down the tube, the microbes break it down, okay? And they're not breaking it down because they want the food into the body. They want the nutrients out of the food. And what are the nutrients? Nutrients are minerals, elements. Nutrients are energy. So what are you doing? You're absorbing the energy, the vibration, the frequency from that food. Or I guess we could call the soul, the consciousness of that food that you're eating. Okay, because that's what you're wanting, because that's allowing you to ascend or grow or evolve your consciousness, because the universal law is that all consciousness must grow. So whether that's you eating an animal food or a plant food, they all have consciousness. Okay, the animal has a face on it, but we are feeding on the consciousness of animals, vegetables, plants, fungi, all these different kingdoms that we see. But we're absorbing energy. And what you can do is you can write intention notes about certain herbs and vitamins and minerals on intention notes, or the actual substance. You can put it in the ring or the supplement. Okay? And we can do it with vibration and frequency. How cool is that? So let's get into the system. So we've already talked about the sun ring, the tool that we're going to use. And please comment. Comment if you have any questions, and we'll get to those and we'll answer those. I'm hoping to do a few demonstrations using the sun ring too. The sun ring is actually underneath my camera as we speak. And we're going to throw a few intention notes and little things as we go along. And I'm going to get to see if you can feel it on your end. It's pretty cool. Okay, and we've got some questions from people as well that have already sent question in, and we're going to answer those as well. So I'd love to hear your feedback. I'm hoping I'm getting the feedback, because again, I'm just going to refresh this and just see if I'm not missing anything. please tell me, even if you just want to write something, just want to know to make sure it's working. Okay, so let's get into the system. So what do you get with the system? So we obviously know you get the sun ring, a gold sun ring. This is a platinum. You get a dowsing chart system, okay, and you get an instruction book, okay. I've tried to keep it very uniform with the other system that I've put out, which is a system of alignment, where you realign your neck and back and right, and you can do that yourself through intent. How cool is that? Okay. Now, let's get to the chart system. Okay, so we've got a chart system here, and we've got a broadcast chart to start with, your home page. Okay, we use the analogy of putting up a web browser, right? It's a home page. And what you've got on here is you've got pages, it sends you to different pages to find out more information. So I've got pages on all the elements, all the minerals known to man. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come to this this home page, and for example, getting up in the morning, you're going to have a glass of water or coffee or whatever, or a beverage of some sort, and you've got your sun ring there, and you're like, what does my body need now? Now, one thing you must need to know is that energy's evolving and shifting all the time. So you may need something different at different times of the day, or from one morning to the next might be completely different. Your chemistry, your biology is being influenced by the field, and the energy within the field is always shifting and changing. And it's about adaptation, really, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Okay? And so you most likely won't see different things, and don't be alarmed by that. It's just it depends on your environment. You know, are you creating a stressful environment for yourself, or are you in a stressful environment at the moment? Which we know that stress and fear is the ultimate block, and it stops digestion, and you're leaking energy out. Okay, you might be, this is getting to the sustenances of energy. You might be in a relationship problem. You're going to be leaking out energy. You're not happy at work. You're going to be leaking out energy. Okay? You're not eating well, or you're being stressed at work. You're going to be leaking energy. Okay? And we know that energy are nutrients and elements. Okay? Minerals. So we've got charts of all the minerals, the elements that you need. So if you're cup of tea, cup of coffee, then you're going to ask the front chart, what do I need? What can I place on an intention note, the broadcast into that beverage that my body needs? Okay, so we've got all the charts of minerals, elements. We've got a superfoods chart. Okay, so we're talking about foods that are highly mineralized from all aspects of the globe. We've got charts about crystals. Okay, now one thing I must say, if you've got the actual physical crystal, or you've got the physical supplement, let's say it's a calcium supplement, great, use it. Okay, we obviously normally orally ingest it, but what you can do with a sun ring is you can actually place it in the sun ring, the supplement, put your fingers, 2 fingers into, or 1 finger into the ring, and what that does, it creates like a circuit where that supplement becomes more bioavailable to your body, because the supplement's in there, your finger's in there. It creates a circuit with the supplement, so when you orally take it, it's going to work better for you. It's gonna because one thing about supplements is you could have a array of 10 or 20 different calcium supplements from different brands that maybe use different processing, got the basis of making that supplement from different sources. They're not all going to work exactly the same. One supplement or 2 of those 10 or 20 are going to be more bioavailable, and you're going to get more out of it, where some of them might not even do anything for you or help you at all. And that's not even getting into all the different types of calcium. Amino acid bound calciums that you can take, or calcium from algae, or calcium carbonate, all these different forms of calcium that have different bioavailabilities in the body, right? So that's your best friend. Okay, so a little hints. That's one of them. There's a number of I've got in the system that you can use it for. So again, all the crystals, you can put a physical crystal in the sun ring, and then that's going to broadcast into the room. So it's going to expand its field. And what's actually happening is you're expanding the aura, or the consciousness of that crystal. You're activating it, so therefore it grows out. Okay, that's why I always recommend people, when we get into that heart space, we bring more of our field, of our multi-dimensional aspects of self here, which our auric field then expands out, because we're bringing that field or that light here. When we get into the mind, the auric field shrinks. It's always fluctuating, depending on the environment or the space you create for self. Okay, we call that duality neutrality. So you can use a physical crystal, but if you don't have a physical crystal, or let's just say, oh, I need vitamin C, I'm getting a bit of a cough coming on, and maybe you don't have it in your pantry or your cupboard, well, next best thing, write it on a piece of paper. Use the sun ring. Okay, so we've got all the crystals. Supplements chart. I've also got a herbs chart, or herb chart for you American people. So all medicinal herbs, again, from different aspects of the plant. Digestive enzymes, because we know that with digestion, with getting absorbing the energy, the nutrients, minerals from the food, sometimes it's not the food that's the problem, it's your ability to be able to break it down and digest it. That's what I'm seeing the majority of the time. A big culprit is the glands here that secrete saliva, the parotid salivary glands, the salivary glands underneath here, the submandibular glands. These are very vital, because where does digestion start? It starts here in the mouth. Okay, so we're seeing that a lot. Vitamins chart, so vitamin A, all the B's, C, D, E, K1, K2, and so on. I've also got a special chart in here on called cleansing chart. Okay, so it takes you into using this tool to do a cleanse, right? For example, you want to do a liver gallbladder flush. Okay, you'll douse here, and it will. And again, you could just do that anyway. But with a dowsing chart and using your intuition, you get rid of doubt. Okay, so you can go to the cleanse chart and ask. We've got blood, lymph, liver, gallbladder, small intestine, colon, kidneys, and so on. And you can actually ask, something's not right. I feel like I need to do a cleanse or detoxification. What area of my body needs it? And you douse and you find out. Okay, so let's just use the example. Let's say it went to liver. And if you know about, if you've got some wisdom about the herbalism field, and you know something that's really good for your liver, well, use that. If not, go to the herb chart in the system, or go to the front page again, the broadcasting system, ask, what is best that's going to cleanse my liver? And it might go to the superfoods chart, might go to the herb chart, might go to an element or a mineral chart like silica, because silica is great for the urinary system. Okay, horsetail is a herb that is very high in silica. Bamboo, it's great for getting flow in the urinary system. But let's say for the liver, let's say one that we already know. Let's say we already knew it and we didn't need to get into the charts. Saying that would probably be best to go in the charts, because again, it's going to take exactly the best. As I say, you're not just going to pick up one calcium off the shelf like randomly. You're going to find out what one is best for your body and for that situation. Okay, it might not be milk thistle, but milk thistle is a common detox herb for the liver. And let's say you let's say you don't have the herb milk thistle, you write it on a piece of paper, intention note. So you get a piece of paper, write milk thistle, you grab your sun ring, and you place it over the liver with the note, and hold the note in there, milk thistle. And you'd hold it there and hold it there. And what you'll notice is these subtle energies happening in that area. You'll feel the liver kind of swishing around a bit. Now, a common question, how long do I keep it there? For as long as your body tells you. Obviously, if you're starting to get a bit groggy and you're getting a bit tired, you've probably left it there a little bit too long, because you're in full detox mode now. You need to go and have a lie down. But you'll learn that. And that's the great thing about the system, is you're going to learn intuition, but you're going to learn what I call true body communication, because your consciousness is always communicating through the body. We call those symptoms. Okay, so you're going to create a great relationship with your body too. Okay. So as I say, all these the homepage has got charts for all the elements, all the minerals, a huge, a bunch of superfoods, all the crystals, supplements. Again, it's great getting the supplement. As I told you earlier, you can increase the bioavailability of that supplement, but you can also write it on an intention note. And that's the big emphasis I want to take away with this system, broadcasting system is, I've been on a journey for a very long time in regards to health. And before I got into the energy game, I started with nutrients, like changing my diet, like a lot of people do. Getting into supplements and realizing not just preventing disease, but how do we even reverse disease with diet, with supplements, right? Minerals, elements, vitamins, nutrients. And it's kind of a bit of a learning game because you buy all these different supplements, buy all these different herbs and stuff, and it costs a lot of money for a long period of time. But you're learning as you go along, right? And probably a lot of that stuff I bought, and somehow I didn't never really use that much, or it didn't feel like it worked for me. Because again, I was just guessing. Well, that person says that's good, so I'm going to do it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you like it did for that other person. And that's where intuition comes in. Get rid of the guessing game. You get what's unique and specific to what you need, not what that other person needs. What you need. And that's what the beauty of the system's all about. Okay, so I got into the nutritional game, and I spent a lot of money. Well, writing it on a piece of paper and putting it in a sun ring doesn't cost anything, right? And this is the future. As I say, quantum physics is the future of science. That's where we're going, okay? Is quantum healing is the future of healing, okay? So to have a system that you can use every day, at any moment of the day you need it, whether you're sick, unwell, or whether you want to remain vitality or keep the body cleansed, this system can do that for you. How cool is that? So that's essentially the chart system. And what you get with the chart system, just like the alignment system, you get an instruction book. Okay? So this instruction book, again, is segmented like the alignment system. We start with why, okay, is the title. And I explain why I created the system. We've talked about it here in this video so far. So it's a bit of an introduction of why we created this system. As I said, what I've learnt probably over the last 15 years at least has gone into the system for you to bypass all the confusion that I've gone through. Is this diet right? You look at the nutritional world now, it's just a mess. It's so confusing, so much information. People saying, in the diets especially, paleo, oh dude, paleo, and then a few years later, oh no, there's another diet that comes along. A few years later, they're all trends. And if you look up, eggs good for me, there'll be people saying eggs are bad for you, and people saying eggs are good for you. For a few years, they're great. A few years, no, they're bad. Even people probably saying water's bad for you. Everywhere you go, you're going to see a conflicting view. Now, these conflicting views, because they're looking for something that's going to work on the collective. Nothing works in the collective because we're all unique. Okay, we're all individual, we're all unique. That's what I've found, and that's what I keep finding in my healing. And hence, having a system like this is taking all that guesswork out. You can find out what you need, what your body needs, what your consciousness needs. For example, the other day I found out that when we break into nutrition, we've got macronutrients and micronutrients. So macronutrients like the carbohydrate, fat, protein, I guess alcohol is another class of that, is what the physical body needs to build the physical body. Okay? That's why animal foods or anabolic foods, which are mainly animal foods, are great for you, because it builds you back up, builds the body back up. Okay, the physical aspect of you. Okay? While micronutrients, which are like the minerals, the trace minerals and stuff, We see those concentrated in animal foods because the animals are usually eating all those plants, right, all day long because they're plant eaters, and then therefore we eat it when we eat their flesh or their meat. But in plants are more medicinal. We don't really. When you look at the wild plants out in nature, we've hybridized plants like broccoli and cauliflower and right from the brassica family. But the wild variety which they all originally came from, it's got hardly anything on it at all. We've bred them to have like big florets, broccoli and cauliflower and all these vegetables to make it look like we can sustain fully on that. When in wild or in nature, plants are medicinal. Okay, they're our medicine. Okay, and they're heavy with micronutrients. Okay, but they've also got an immune system, and they're the anti-nutrients that are in plants. Because a lot of the times plants can be very hard to break down to get to the nutrients, and that's why sometimes we need to eat animal foods because they're more bioavailable because they've already been broken down by the animal that we're now ingesting. Okay, so we need animals, and I know I'm just trying to explain this. We need the animal kingdom, the fungi kingdom, plant kingdom in regards to that is an area of sustenance and energy, but we can sustain energy in other places, which the sun ring can help with too. Okay, so what I found is the micronutrients are more what our soul needs, our consciousness needs that energy, because as I talked about earlier, what's magnesium to calcium? It's just a different frequency compared to the calcium, the magnesium, part of a multi-spectrum of frequencies. Okay? So, we usually, plants are usually catabolic. Okay? They cleanse, detox the body. Okay? And that's what we see with people that are always, they say, oh, vegan's the right diet, or vegetarianism is the right diet for a lifetime. Well, I don't like that aspect of diet, coming back to diet. There's not one diet for everybody. They're just tools on a tool belt that you can use every now and then if the body needs cleansing. They clean up house, like you go and do a spring clean in the house. But does that mean you do that all the time? No, you don't. You need to build the house back up again, don't you? So use that analogy in regards to that. This system allows that because you can find out without the guesswork again, do I need to do a cleanse? Do I need to clean out house? Do I need certain elements or minerals that are they're going to help cleanse the body or help the consciousness or the soul aspect of me? Or do I need something anabolic that's going to build this human body back up? So that's all within the system, okay? One thing that I found was when I went to the elemental mineral chart, hydrogen kept coming up. And I was like, what's hydrogen? Wow. I was expecting things like magnesium, calcium, iron, all those sorts of things, right? But never come up anymore. Because again, all these other tools that I create anchor in spectrums of frequency. The activation qubit, the gateway qubit, the ascension qubit. The spectrums of frequency, not one, but spectrums. And when you bring those in and you stay in the heart space and out of the mind, you bring all this light in, which has the consciousness of all what we call elements or minerals here on this reality. So you don't necessarily need them as much from food. As I say, you can get sustenance and energy from a number of places. Food's just one of them. Okay? So anyway, hydrogen was coming up. Okay? And hydrogen is, I would say, the most common thing that we all need. Because I spoke about hydrogen earlier. It's the genesis of water. What's the human body mainly need? Water. Right? When people have problems with health, what's the first thing 99% of the time they've got to work on first? Food. Okay? Okay, and then they scrutinize about what food and what's right and what's wrong. Maybe the question is, why is my body not breaking it down or digesting it? Like, for example, carbohydrates are kind of the bad guy of the macronutrients at the moment. Maybe it's because we're not breaking it down very well. There's problems with amylase secretion here in the stomach, but also up here when we start chewing our food. It's epidemic that we're not chewing our food properly for long enough too, right? So I've been doing a lot of research in regards to this aspect of our, which will be another video coming up, but really want to explain it in depth. Okay, and you can cradle this with this system. This is how cool it is. So I was using hydrogen a lot, write hydrogen down, put it in the sun ring, and I've learned a hell of a lot just about hydrogen since. Because again, you're uploading the vibration, the frequency, the consciousness of it, and your body's gonna reap the benefits, but you're gonna learn at the same time, because this is all consciousness stuff. This is all at the quantum level. Okay. So we've gone over why. Now the next sector is what makes up the system. So we've already talked about the start, the sun ring. This is a platinum sun ring. For people who are just jumping on now, we've already spoken about the sun ring in great depth at the start. So this will be on my YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch the start. But the ones that the ones that you're beginning was a sun ring, as a gold sun ring. We don't have the platinum anymore. So you get a 4-inch sun ring. There is a 9-inch sun ring, which is a practitioner size. It goes even deeper if you want to do that. What I like about the 4-inch is just it's more compatible. Okay, you can take this around with you. More cost effective too. And we've all got to start somewhere, right? The dowsing charts, as we've just been into, and the instruction booklet here. Now, what you'll also get, because I know with the instruction book you can read about it, but some of us like to visually see how to use the system. So I've got already private videos which, for the people that do buy the system, I'll be sending you the links to. And it's mainly about more the intuition aspects, getting over doubting, which one of my mentors used to say, is when you're learning to dowse or become intuitive, am I getting the right answer? And those sorts of things. I'll help you with that. And learning, if you've never, I've had people that have bought my other system, an alignment system, that have never done dowsing in their life. They've started from scratch and they're doing it. It's working for them. So I want to make sure that this system works for you, okay? And I will be there whenever you need me for guidance as well, okay? That all comes along with the system. The next aspect of the instruction book is how, okay? How do I do this? How do I use the system? So we go through step-by-step approach of how you use the system. I'm not going to go in great depth there with that. It's all within the book. Now, there's a big section on intuition. As I say, you might be somebody that's already highly intuitive, dowsing, using muscle testing. Part of this intuition, we teach you, if you want to do pendulum dowsing, we teach you that. Dowsing with dowsing rods, or what they call L rods, we can teach you that. Muscle testing, we can teach you that. You'll find something that connects with you or you feel is more relevant to you, because as I say, we're all individual, all unique. Connect to what feels right with you. And for somebody, it might be muscle testing. For somebody else, it might be dowsing with a pendulum. Okay, so we go through all those things. We also go into talking about additional tools. As I said at the start of this video, this is the main tool of the system, but you can incorporate some of the other tools that I either distribute or make part of my line of tools that you can use in there. And I've named a couple in there, which is called the Divinity Ring and the Ascendant. Now, the Divinity Ring is also made by Wayne Gatos from Crystalline Incorporated. And the key word in the Divinity Ring is the word divine, okay? And I've also already mentioned about when we connect out of this reality, we connect to our multi-dimensional aspect of ourself. And everything in this plane is connected to a consciousness, including plants, including minerals, including nutrients. So if we're wanting to absorb, let's say we're wanting magnesium for the body. Do you want magnesium that exists just on this plane? Or do you want its multi-dimensional aspect of the effect of magnesium? And it has different effects all through different dimensions or realms. Then the Divinity Ring can connect the divine aspects of that mineral element and bring it here so you absorb more of it, okay? So Divinity Ring is quite a cool addition with using with the Sun Ring, but you don't necessarily need it. The Sun Ring is the thing that you do need, Hence, that's the tool that comes with the system. The Divinity Ring does not come with a system. That's an additional one that I do recommend. If you want to go there, I would recommend you start just with the Sun Ring. Now, the thing about Divinity Ring is it does that. It's a charger as well, but it creates just a column where the Sun Ring broadcasts the energy out. So hence it's great for things like crystals as well. It broadcasts the energy of the crystal out further, having more an effect in a room. For example, you have a small crystal, okay, like a small crystal about that size, and it will have a certain field. And then you get a crystal that's huge, and it will have a bigger field. Now, you can turn a crystal like that into something that's as powerful as a crystal that's much bigger because of that tool. So it saves you money, right? Okay. And then I get into, and that's a couple of photos. So there's the Divinity Ring there. And then you've got the Ascendant as well. And the Ascendant's a wonderful tool, which I've just done a video of last week in a webinar on the Ascendant, how this connects you to your higher aspects of self. So this is going to enhance your intuition capabilities, this tool here, and that's one of the reasons why I've recommended it, because a big part of this is intuition. And obviously the services that I provide here at Truly Holistic, which includes healing, one-to-one, 45-minute sessions where we go over anything and everything. And I realign spines, joints, vertebrae, and I've got another system called the alignment system that does that too, where you can do that for yourself. And goodbye chiropractor, goodbye acupuncturist, goodbye a number of practitioners, because this is empowering you to become a healer. How cool is that? Okay, and also I distribute a number of tools as well, which I've got photos of all the tool designs that help to structure water and a number of other things. So that's the system, okay? You get an instruction booklet, you get all the charts that you ever need. You can also obviously add your own charts to it and make it your own. And you get the Sun Ring, the 4-inch Sun Ring, which will be gold, not platinum, okay? Let's get into some questions. And then once I answer the questions, then we're going to do a few demonstration demonstration vids, which is going to make you're gonna feel something on your end. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. I've got a Sun Ring underneath the camera right now. So let's go over these questions quickly. So I got some questions come in, and first question was, can I use both true and false commands at the same time in a Sun Ring? For example, oxytocin true, inflammation false, for example. Great question. Great question. What I'm going to do, I've got my alphabet chart in front of me. I'm going to ask. Okay. So, using this tool, the Sun Ring, can both true and false commands be used at the same time? Yes or no, please. Like that example. Okay. So what it's telling me is no. Okay. Because again, as I said, where you place your attention, how you use your intention is your power. So you want that to be clear. So if you're kind of doing two things at the same time, a true and a false, it's not as powerful as having one clear intent at a time. So I think that's why it's recommending that you just do one at a time, not true and false together. So I hope that answers your question. 2, the next question. Can I use the Sun Ring to reverse quantum entanglement? Okay, so quantum entanglement is a quantum physics term, okay, where they found that it doesn't matter the distance between one particle and the other, if they originate in the same particle, or if originate from the same source, whatever happens with one particle will then affect the other particle. It doesn't matter the distance. So distances, because what I've come to find in quantum at the quantum level, distance doesn't mean anything. In the 3D, we think distance is a barrier, like a number of things in the 3D. In the duality, it's a barrier. At the quantum level, distance is not a barrier. For example, majority of the clients that I heal every day are all overseas. Okay, and I make an intent, we do the healing, and they feel it immediately. Okay, they could be, I'm in New Zealand, they could be in the States, they could be on the moon, and we could still do a healing session. So distance is not a barrier when it comes to quantum. It's the same thing again with the way that we look at the cosmos, where we're trying to still send rocket ships out into space. Ugh. Because if they feel like we need huge amounts of fuel because of a distance thing. This is where like wormholes, portals come into thing, because it bends the time and space, right? So it removes distance, okay? Because at the quantum level, distance is not an issue. In the 3D, we're so indoctrinated in the mind, and we're trying to send rocket ships, and we're thinking, oh, it's going to take so long to get to a place. Well, is it true? Yes, on this plane, in the 3D and the duality, but in the other dualities and realms and the higher aspects of self, nah, the distance not a thing. So that's quantum entangled. So the question is, though, I'd rather not be linked to most of my previous sex partners. Well, I would. That's a little bit more. I'm trying to keep the system very simple. What you're trying to ask there, I would privately probably answer that for you, okay? Because it's a little bit more tricky than you think. I would ideally recommend a session with me, because we do this for a number of people, not only just sexual partners, but just people that you've been in connection for a very long time. We find that there is a connection, cords still connected between people, and we actually have to make quite a few intents and clearings to kind of clean it all up. So that's what I recommend would be a session. But second option is, with some of the tools that you have, I can give you some instruction. But it's not an easy thing. So I'll privately send you a message in regards to that. 3, could the sun ring be used in a way to alter meat so it no longer lowers frequency when eaten? Well, we kind of talked about that earlier. How I mentioned about, quite often we kind of look at animal foods. The spirituality community, conscious community, kind of feel like, well, but eating animals for our own good, and that's low vibrational, and especially a lot of the fear that comes from the animals that are being slaughtered very inhumanely. And I get you. The way that we're mainstream is, we're just bringing out animals just to slaughter them, and especially the way they're doing it is not the right way. There's no doubt about it. And there's a lot of negative energy and enhanced in regards to that, because of the fear the animal's going through, but also how they're being handled with. It's a bit like, if you went to a restaurant, right, and the chef was cooking your meal, and let's say he was having a bad day, and he wasn't really there, and he was cursing, and his energy was negative, that's going to have an imprint or a mark on the food that then gets sent out to you, right? So does that mean that all meat's bad? No. Okay, so I'm going to get to the answer to your question, but I just want to emphasize this, that we do get an emotional response to animals because they've got a face. They're more closer to what we are, okay, compared to a plant. But they both have consciousness, which means they both have, they are interfaces for consciousness, is probably the best way we say it. That emotional connection is a very humanistic thing, and it can be, a lot of the times, the emotional aspect can be very detrimental to us. It's how we're manipulated. Okay, so keep that in mind. But in regards to your question, alter the meat so it no longer lowers frequency, for sure. As I say, a big part of using the rings, if you've got the neutralization ring too, which is the one with the prongs that go inwards, or if you don't have a neutralization ring, one of my tensor rings that I make with the activation or the gateway or the ascension qubit, they will transmute the field, okay? They are changes or transmuters of field. The neutralization ring is kind of promoted as removing negative energy. Well, it doesn't like just delete negative energy, it flips it back into good energy, or structured, so therefore it doesn't affect you. Well, all my tensor rings do that as well. So I would recommend either the tensor rings or the neutralization ring to use first, so you transmute any field that has got fear in it from that animal, or negative energy that because of the way it's been processed or that it was influenced, you use that and place it under that ring for 10 to 30 seconds, and then to charge it and really get the vibration up, then you'd use which you will get with the tensor rings, not with a neutralization ring. If you go using a neutralization ring, then you charge it with the sun ring. Okay, but if you've got just the tensor rings, you can just use the tensor rings alone, so it will transmute it, but also anchor in some really high vibrational energy into the food. Tensor rings kind of do both modes, but as I said about neutralization sun ring, is neutralization rings got prongs going inwards, sun ring prongs going out. They kind of do similar things to a certain degree. One's got a clockwise vortex and one's got anti-clockwise. So one draws stuff out, one kind of creates expansion of energy in a broadcaster. So I hope that's answered your question. Anyway, so let's get into a few demos and we'll finish it there. So I've got a few ideas. So I posted a healing video not that long ago where we used the sun ring, okay? And we made the intent to remove all dis-ease, communication of dis-ease, which is symptoms. As I said, if we're not getting a direct connection through intuition, a lot of the times we get communicated through the body through symptoms. And a lot of people say, oh, that's karma. But there needs to be another way of getting the information to you. And sometimes it will speak through the body through symptoms. It's knowing and understanding that those symptoms are trying to communicate to you rather than say they're all bad and then you take a pharmaceutical and numb it, right? It's the sad reality of the health system we have. So we kind of did that. I'm not going to do it here, but I really advise you check that out on my YouTube channel. It was the last healing video I did, so check that out. I think it was to remove pain or pain relief. We use the sun ring exactly like the system for that healing, and I'm getting great feedback from people in regards to that. You also use visualization, as I say. We use intention notes or intent with the sun ring, which is half our power. The other half of power is where we place our attention, right? That's a huge part of our healing as well, which can include visualization because you're guiding it to a certain area. For example, you want the healing in your liver or your pancreas, well, you just guide it there through visualization, which is using your place of attention, okay? Media are good at that, aren't they? That's like another story, right? They try and distract you, get your attention. So therefore, you're using your energy into something that has nothing to really do with you. Okay, they're trying to mess your perception of reality. Don't buy into it, by the way. Okay, what we're going to do now, though, I'm going to write on a piece of paper. I've got a piece of paper here, just a scrap piece of paper. Doesn't have to be special or anything like that. And I'm going to write the word lemon on it. Okay, and normally, what would be done with this is we'd get somebody to write the word lemon on a piece of paper, put that on a desk or a table, and people would put their fingers in the ring. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it in the sun ring that's underneath the camera, and I'm going to intend that to go out to everybody that's watching and listening. And I want to see if anybody, again, it'll be subtle, that you notice a slight acidity change in your mouth. Okay, I want you to be aware of that. And please post, yeah. This is a great party trick, by the way. Okay, but this is look, I don't have a lemon here. I don't have a physical lemon. I'm writing the word lemon on a piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to write it, put it in the sun ring. I'm going to place the intent. As I said, normally you just place it in the ring, put your fingers in the ring, and you get the thing. But I'm going to tend that vibration of lemon out to all of you. I want to see if you can taste it. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so now I've placed the intention note of the vibration, the frequency of lemon within the sun ring, which is underneath this camera. I want the vibration, the frequency of that lemon to be broadcast to everybody watching, everybody listening to this video, please. including me, please. Broadcast the vibration, the frequency of lemon, using that sun ring to everybody watching and listening to this video, please. Now I'm putting my fingers in the ring. It's changing already. You might even notice a little bit more saliva being secreted in your mouth too. It's crazy. Again, very subtle. Okay, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm biting into a lemon, and it's like sour as anything. But you're gonna notice the difference. When I placed my fingers in the ring, I noticed saliva was secreting more, and I got the subtlety of acidity in my mouth. I could taste the lemon. Okay, so we're going to take that out now. Okay. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to ask, we're going to put a crystal. Okay. I'm just going to have a look and see what I have here. Okay, I've got a crystal over here. For this next one, we're actually going to put not just an intention, we're going to actually put a physical crystal in. Okay, so let's have a look. I've got a bunch of them here. A bunch of little crystals, little tumblers. And let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to put amethyst. Okay. Right, so the amethyst in the sun ring. Okay, for everybody watching and listening to this video, I'm using the sun ring to broadcast the energy, the vibration, the frequency of the amethyst, please. To everybody watching and listening to this video, please. See, with me putting my fingers in the ring, it's creating a circuit, so that energy of the amethyst then can come through my arm. But even with it in the sun ring where it is, it's broadcasting that out into the room. Okay? Generally, the sun ring will broadcast out to about 20 feet, around about that, or just a bit more. So you can have a little tumbler, which is just about that size. Normally we'll have a field of, say, about that. You can broadcast that into a whole room with the sun ring. But again, as I say, if you don't have the physical amethyst, you can write it on a piece of paper. It's the next best thing. Okay, so that's all finished. Let's just have a look. Now, is there anybody out there who feels like an area of their body needs to be cleansed or detoxified? Because if so, I can find out what we need to cleanse, and we can, with your input, we can direct it to a certain organ, and you'll feel it. But I need someone to comment, someone that wants to be part of the game. But you can do that. If you don't want to do that, that's what you can do. As we mentioned about the liver earlier in the webinar. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we've got Michelle. It's good to see comments. Thank you. There are people out there. Wow. Okay. I want you to comment. Comment more stuff. If you got any questions whatsoever, don't be afraid to ask. I'm just looking at my battery. It's got another 20%. So we've got a few more minutes. Okay. Okay, so Michelle H. Is that Michelle Hanscom? Yes or no? Alright, cool. You're Sydney, is that correct? Just need your location. Sydney, correct? Cool. Okay. Liver. Okay. So and even though you've said liver, I'm going to go to the cleansing chart as part of the system again. And I'm going to ask, is that in fact what we need to cleanse? Where are you? God. You'd think I'd know the system better. Right, okay, here we go. Okay, so we've got Michelle Hanscom, correct? Yeah. Okay, what area needs to be cleansed? Anyway, yep, so it is liver. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the start of the page. I'm going to ask, what is going to be best to cleanse your liver? Okay, so what is best needed? We're getting some comments. Fantastic. From Michelle Hanscom. What is the best that we need to use to cleanse the liver, please? It will take me, it might be more than one thing, so keep that in mind too. And especially when you ask, what do I need for my body? It might be 3 or 4 different elements of minerals. So if you pick up one element of mineral, just go back to the front page and again, look to see what you need next, okay? Okay, anyway. Okay, so it's going to the superfoods, okay, which are highly mineralized foods all around the world. Okay, which one, please, for liver? Over here. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Forward. Okay, so what we're going to do, again, I wouldn't have thought, from the off the top of my head, this would be what we need, but this is the cool thing about the system. We're going to put aloe vera, okay, which is very soothing. And what we're going to do now, okay, I'm going to put aloe vera within the sun ring. I'm going to send it your way to your liver. But what you can do as well is you can close your eyes, you can visualize aloe vera, that energy, directing it to the liver. So you place your attention on your liver. And we're going to leave it there for a few minutes, and I want you to tell me what you feel. Okay? So here we go. Okay, so I've placed the aloe vera, and I'm letting the sun ring broadcast the aloe vera superfood to Michelle Hanscom's liver, please. That's in Sydney. And I'm going to let Michelle visualize that energy and placing that attention on her liver, please. Now, I can feel you, Michelle. So it's working. I can feel it. Because when I do healings with people, which we're kind of doing here, really. So you can say that sun ring, you can use that as a distance healing tool, right? I feel it with the clients. So it's working there now. Now, I'm very sensitive to it, so you might be not feeling anything right now, but it's happening. Okay, so while we're doing that, Martin, hi Martin, great for you to be here, and everyone else that's come on. I feel my energy lifting. Perfect. There we go, Michelle. Perfect. Now, what I'm going to say to you, Michelle, once you start to feel like that energy is dropping out a bit, I want you to tell me, because that's the time to stop. Okay? Now, it's lifting your energy because it's giving you the liver the detox it needs. But if your energy starts to drop away, that means that it might be too much all in once. And that's when you take away the ring and you take away the intent. Okay? As I said earlier, you'll know, the body will tell you. You don't want to go to such a deal where you have to sleep for the rest of the day because your body's in full detox mode. You want to do it. You want to do it with ease and grace. Okay? So tell me, you can feel what your energy is now. If it starts to just drop a bit, tell me when that happens and we'll take away the ring and the aloe vera, the note. Okay, Martin said, can we write a name of a person and place within a sun ring with an intent? Yes. Yes, you can. And that's how you use... And that's how you use the tool as a distance tool. Definitely. I've done that for... I've been using these tools for a number of years, and I remember a family member of mine being over in the United Kingdom, over for a holiday, and he was worried about his neck going out regularly, and I was able to use the sun ring with a note to try and keep that area of the body strong, and it worked really well. Didn't have problems. So it's amazing what you can do with the sun ring. And that's why that was the biggest part of why I created the system, because people have the sun ring and they use it, but it's probably only about 5% of its capabilities. This system allows you to use more of its full capabilities, and that's why I created it. Because you can create. Okay, that's one thing. That's one thing about our power, is we're creators of reality. This tool, this system, allows you to create anything through vibration and frequency at the quantum level, because everything starts at the quantum level, at consciousness, and then goes through the layers, like dropping a pebble in a pond. It starts there and it ripples out. Okay? That's the cool thing about it. And hence why I wanted only the smaller sun ring, because for a woman, you can place it in your purse, you can take it with you. The 9-inch is a bit more heavy duty. If you're a practitioner, you're already a healing practitioner, well, I would recommend this one at home, and also obviously the 9-inch ring for your clients if you're going to use the system as well. How are we feeling, Michelle? I know you said okay, Ta. I presume that's you taking on the information I just told you. How's the energy feeling now? Is it starting to drop, or is it staying the same, or is it still amplifying? Because I don't want to do it for too long. I don't want to put you into what we call a healing crisis, where you're kind of detoxifying a lot very quickly. So I see Ruth has said yes, please. I see Lisa Williams. Thank you for everyone for coming on. And also remember, this will remain on my YouTube channel. So if you want to share this to other people, go ahead and do it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that out. Okay. Okay, so remove your attention off your liver now. I've taken the note away, so you won't be getting that effect of aloe vera anymore. Okay. Now I'm going to ask, because you've said just starting to get a headache. So is the headache part of... Yeah. So it's just validated and said that headache is part of the detox. So it's good that you've said to stop it there, okay? Now... pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. You're most welcome, Michelle. When you get into this stuff, and this system is just broadening your horizon of what you can do. It's amazing what you can do. Okay? I've also tried to keep this system to a cost that everyone can buy the system. okay? It's affordable for everybody, okay? And if you can't do it in one payment, we can work out a payment plan where you just gradually pay it off. Because I want as many people out there to have this system, because I know a lot of people already have this tool and they're using it and they're getting results with it. But I want this to be part of your life. Okay, not only this tool, but all these other consciousness tools and a system like this that gives you a direction of using them on your everyday life. It's going to have an effect on your everyday life, keeping the bucket full with your nutrients and everything that you need for that day to accomplish what you need to do in your life. Okay, when you're in a low place or a place where you're not feeling very well, a healing modality to heal yourself or help you out of a difficult time. So the system's got it. Now I'm just going to have a quick look at, okay, look at my battery. Okay, so let's have a look. Now, I'm going to see with you, Ruth, to start with. Okay, so Ruth Smith, she is close by. We know that. We've got a connection with Ruth. Yeah. Now, Ruth is just was asking yes, please, in regards to does she need. I'm going to ask this, Ruth. I'm going to go to our broadcasting chart again of the system, because that's all we're using here. And I'm going to ask what you need, whether that's just a mineral element or maybe a cleanse. What's the most important thing? She did say yes, please, in regards to the cleanse, but maybe it's something else. So what does Ruth Smith need that's on the system, please, that you want me to use? Could be a crystal. Could be a herb. Could be... Okay, so it's going to cleanse. Okay, and which cleanse does she need? Right left. Okay, anything else? So it's gone to blood. Okay, so obviously for Michelle, we kept a very close place of attention of the liver, which obviously has an effect on the blood too, and in a number of the areas of the body. Okay, they're all holistically working together, right? Blood is systemic. Blood's flowing all over the body. An important aspect of blood is flow, and we talked about that earlier in the video. Okay, so let's ask, we're going to go back to the home page, ask what do we need to use to help cleanse the blood for Ruth, please. Okay, go ahead, please. Circle it. Anything else? Okay, so it's going to superfoods. We'll go to the superfoods chart. And what superfood, please? Is it right or left? In here. Circle it. Spell. No, go here. That one. One. Okay. Okay. So what it's going to is cacao. Okay, which is what all chocolate's made up of. Now, as I said earlier in the video, I'm going to be doing a video about the health of the mouth soon, because I'm personally just been doing something in regards to that, and it's to do with sugars as well. And sugar alcohols, which are substitutes for sugars. And the thing about why that connects with cacao and chocolate is that majority of the chocolate that you've bought for essentially all your life is essentially sugar with a little bit of chocolate, the actual thing that is chocolate on the side. It's just a candy bar. Now, when you try a cacao bean, which all chocolate's made up of, they cannot get rid of that as part of the chocolate. That's what chocolate comes from. It's a whole different animal. Okay, it's not a candy bar. It's medicinal, powerful. It's got huge amounts of magnesium in it, iron in it. It's great for blood. Okay, because of that reason, iron, and magnesium, those sorts of things. Now, hemoglobin in an animal, in a human, is the center mineral or element is iron, right? In plants, it's magnesium. Interestingly enough. Which what we call chlorophyll. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to write, oops, I was about to write magnesium. So here we go. I'm going to write cacao, and I'm going to place that in here. And again, I want you to get it, feel for what you're feeling now. Okay, I'm placing it in the ring now, okay? And what I'm going to do, now we need to broadcast that vibration, that frequency of cacao into what the other name is cocoa, right? Cacao into the bloodstream of Ruth Smith, please. And what I want you to do, Ruth, is I want you to close your eyes and visualize that energy in your blood system, in your circulatory system, systemically all over the body, okay? And tell me how you feel. For Ruth Smith's blood, cleansing the blood with cacao, please. So what that's telling me is the fact that using cacao for blood, it might be to do with the structure of the blood cells, like the red blood cells themselves. Mm-hmm. Abstract. Yeah. So it's just told me it's bringing the mineral element of the cacaos into your blood. As I say, magnesium being a big part of that. Now, the most important element and mineral for the heart, okay, and tingles. There we go. Ruth's saying she's got tingles. That makes sense for the bloodstream. Is magnesium. You hear potassium this, potassium that. Yeah, potassium's important. Electrolyte imbalance, important with potassium and sodium. But magnesium's a big one. Because what magnesium does, it's great for smooth muscle tissue. All your vessels, your tubing of the cardiovascular system is smooth muscle tissue. What's the most important muscle in the body? The heart. Okay. So when we look at people that are getting in their elder years, is what do we see? I think it's called, is it sarcopenia, when muscles, we lose muscle mass. Well, what's happening to the heart? Right? It's losing its shape and form. And we see elderly people getting into heart failure and all those sorts of things because they lose the shape or the geometry of the heart because they lose that tone because it's a muscle, right? And we're only looking at the physical implementation. We're doing this at a quantum level. How are we feeling now, Ruth? I'm keeping an eye on you too. Still working on you. Again, we were working with Michelle before. She's in Australia. I'm in New Zealand. I can feel her from here. So what does that say? We've got infinite connection. If we get in the heart space, bring our true power here, using implementation of quantum physics, which we're doing here with this system, with the Sun Ring tool, the system, we have infinite connection. Do anything. Okay, it's telling me to stop there for you, Ruth. So that's what we'll do, because we don't want to we just want to be gentle, okay, in regards to the process. I'm just going to have a look at my battery. Okay, so I've only got 8% to go on my battery, sorry. So I'm sorry, Lisa, I think we're going to have to stop there. But but I think everyone here that is on this video has got an understanding of this system. Now, what you've got going there, Lisa, it looks like you've got quite a bit happening. I can feel it. So, this would definitely help you, because, you're empowered to do it yourself too if you had the system. Also, you can also book a session with me as well, and we can really look at it in a lot more comprehensive way too for you too. Within a session, we do 12, 15, 20, even more clearings. We've done one clearing here for each person, and look at the effect it's having on them. So anyway, I'm going to call it quits there, because before my phone dies on me. I hope everybody's really enjoyed this webinar. If you want to purchase the broadcasting system, and trust me, every home needs this. It's like a, what do they call, like a medicine kit, and it's a medicine kit that will keep giving for the rest of your life, because you just need to write it on a piece of paper what you need. How cool is that? You can create anything. You don't need to, once you've got the system, you don't need to buy other stuff. You can create it. And that's why I love the system so much, and it's so dear to my heart. Thank you, Wayne Gatos, for creating this beautiful tool, the Sunring. Check out my interview video that I've got on my YouTube channel with Wayne Gatos from Christine Incorporated. He talks about Sunring and some of his other tools, which I'm a distributor of, including a lot of tools that I make myself. So check those out. If you want to buy the system, the Sunring system, this broadcasting system, go to my product page at trulyholistic.net. It is there to purchase. And as I say, if you want a payment plan to pay it over a certain period of time, I'm very open to doing that, because I want people, I want people to get this system, because this is where we're going, and I want to create as many people around the globe to have this system, where we can show as many people that the power that we all have. We're all creators. Okay, and you can have fun with this at parties. As I say, you write word chocolate, lemon down on a piece of paper, put it in the ring, and get people and see the amazement in their eyes. You're opening people's eyes to the truth, and more exploration, and just infinite possibilities. And that's a beautiful thing. Till next time.